everyone, it's April with Hair 101. I'm going to give you another color video. We've had a lot of requests on color correction. We had her hair pretty dark. It was like an ombre for a while, and then we went down back to like a natural brown, and then we are going lighter again. So we do a lot of different things to this cute girl's hair. And so we have to be really careful with it and condition it a lot because we do color. We change the color of it really often. So tell me what you want to do this time.
I just want to continue to go lighter, so just put more blonde in it.
Okay. All right, so we are going to, do you want any of the brown in there?
No.
You want just the light?
Yeah.
So this is going to be still considered a color correction because as you can see, there's still some color stain on her ends. I'm going to pull this hair straight up so you can see what's going on here in this. So you can see where her natural hair is grown out, and then there's a section here where her natural hair was the last time that we colored it, and we did a heavy blonde weave, and it actually wasn't this light everywhere because we had brown in there still and from the last color, but the brown has faded out even more now. So what I'll do with people that want to go lighter is I'll just do a heavy blonde weave or even like a medium blonde weave throughout their dark hair and put the bleach all over the entire shaft and then rinse it out, and then the next time they come, I slowly work it a little bit lighter, because if you keep bleaching it over and over during the same process, it takes forever. And if you weave it blonde and go slowly lighter, it's gonna look better. You're not gonna get as much orange tones going in it, and it's going to be healthier for the hair too, because it's not all going to be getting bleached at the exact same time. So I wouldn't suggest taking someone that has a lot of color in their ends that's pretty stained and just dumping bleach over their whole head if they wanted to be all over blonde. So I always do weaves when I'm lightening them up. And so this time I think we're going to be able to get it pretty light. I'm going to be mixing up two different lighteners. One of them is going to be for the roots, and then I'm going to have another one that's just like a 10 volume cream lightener that I'm going to just feather throughout the ends anytime I see some brassiness or some pieces that are still too dark. And you have to be really careful with this because it can chemically burn the hair if the hair doesn't have enough integrity in it. So make sure that you are doing strand tests throughout, and you need to be working pretty quick. I'm going to be using the framesi, the decolor cream, and I'm going to be using a 20 volume on her roots. Actually, I might even go 10. No, I'll do 20. 20 volume on her roots because we want them to be nice and light. And then I'm going to be using a 10 volume on her ends. Okay. So when I'm mixing up these two of the exact same color, one has a different developer, you need to be able to mark the side. If you have two different colors of bowls, then just use like a white bowl and a black bowl. That would be really easy to be able to know which one is the one that will go lighter, put it in the light bowl. For me, since I just have this double bowl, I'm going to put a little piece of foil on the side that I'm going to be using for the 20 volume. So the foil is going to remind me that that's the lighter side. So on the right will be the lighter side, and then this will be the 10 volume on the left. So somebody asked me on the framesi decolor cream on one of my other videos, how come I only use 20 volume if I wanted 5 levels of lift? Well, yes. If you're wanting 5 levels of lift, you would think, oh, I need 40 volume, right? Well, the framesi's hair color is actually really potent, and so you don't have to use high developer, and that's why it keeps the integrity of the hair a little bit nicer using it. So make sure you always read the paper insert that comes with your color, because it will tell you if you need to adjust what you would normally do. Because on normal bleach, I would probably put a 40 volume in for her, or even, you know, she's like a level 6 or 7 on her own, so I probably wouldn't even have to do that. But if you wanted it to go really like a lot faster, sometimes you could do that, but she's going to be just fine with the 20 volume with her hair, and that should get it really super light. So we're doing the top mohawk section, then 2 on the sides. And so I'll have 2 sections in the back. And I'm going to start in the back. And just remember, when you're using bleach on already chemically treated hair, you need to be moving really quick. So I'm gonna just move really fast, and I'm gonna show you a technique that's like on how to keep the foils in really tight on the next color I'm doing. But right now, I just need to move fast, so I'll talk a little bit, but then I'll just be quiet and hurry it up. So I'm putting the 20 volume on her roots. Ooh. And these ends are actually already really light, so that doesn't need anything else. And I always do like another little tuck to get it nice and tight against the head, and then I fold these pockets over. So it should be a tight little square. And I'm taking sections that are a little bit wider just because it depends on how thick their hair is. I can see through what I'm doing, so you can tell if there's anything underneath that needs to be pulled out or if it's not the right color. And all of this hair back here looks pretty light, so I'm not needing to do that 10 volume yet. You need to just remember to check each strand as you go. And she wants a little bit more blonde. So on this piece, I'm going to take out the pieces of brown and stick a foil in them. And I'll do that every like third foil. And if it's all brown, you can just do the 20 volume on the entire piece. This little piece right here is light, so I'm going to leave that out. So I'm only painting where I want the lightener to go. If something's already light, it doesn't need more bleach. Keep it just how it is. Pull it out of the foil. You can still leave it in there in the root part with it. There's no reason to slap some more bleach on a piece of hair that is already the right color. And I've seen a lot of people take bleach and feather it down past this line, the regrowth line. I don't really do that. Maybe like a teeny bit, but if you go too far down, it's just gonna burn the hair off. So you make sure that you don't go past the line of regrowth. You have to make sure you go actually to the line. Don't be afraid of touching the line because it has to not have that little, like you don't want a little hot ring around. But yeah. All right, so this one looks pretty dark. I'm gonna take another little bit of this dark out. So this is what's gonna make her feel a little bit lighter. It's just every third foil that we're doing, we're taking a little bit of the brown and making it blonde again. And it doesn't have to be exactly every third foil. You can just kind of go when you feel like it is a really heavy brown spot, you can go through and lighten that whole piece up a little bit more. I go off of feeling a lot, but if you are scared that you're gonna take too much, you can always count the foils. So now that I did this brown one over the top of the blondes, these blondes are still underneath here. I don't just leave them there. I always go back through and pick out the piece that I already had lightened in the last color, just to make sure that I don't have any ends or any roots that are not blonde on the roots. Okay, so you can see in this one right here, these ends are really coppery. So I'm going to take another foil, lay it down because we need to skip this whole section. And then I'm going to take that 10 volume and very lightly, there doesn't need to be very much color on your brush, just dust it through. You need to be really conservative with this because you're not wanting to really soak the hair in it. You just want it to lighten it up just a little bit more to get rid of that stain and let it release a little bit more. Fold that up into the foil so the hair is safe from the 20 volume. And tuck it in. Should be nice and tight. So I always take my foils like this and I fold them about 1.5 inches and then I stick my comb in them. And that way I have a flap underneath that I can tighten up if I get a little bit loose on the foil. So it keeps things clean and tight. I'll show you again on this one right here. So I have that fold in there along the comb, and then I lift up the hair, stick the foil underneath it, and then use the point of the comb to tuck it up on the corners really tight. And then I go through with the lightener. And then I hold the comb against the foil, flip this up, and that keeps it nice and tight. And then I use that to fold it over. Fold it up one more time, and once you've done those 2 folds, it's that size, then you go back underneath here and tuck again. And then you can use the tip of your comb to fold those over. And it's in there pretty tight. In fact, I have to open the fold to pull it out when I wash her hair. If you just pull that out, it would actually hurt. That's how tight it is. Okay, so this is really dark in the ends here, so I'm going to pull out all of the blonde pieces. Do 20 volume on the roots. And then take another foil. And just feather. So the reason why I'm using a different foil for these ends is when I go back and check them to see if the hair is holding its integrity, if it's starting to feel like it's not doing so good, I can take out just this foil and spray it with water and wash it out and wait for the ends to finish to process. So you need to make sure that you have options like that when you're doing something like this that's so time sensitive and the hair could be really fragile. Try to think ahead for the things that might happen. Okay, so I finished up the back section and now I'm just moving on to the top. And I always do the top next because it's going to get to process a little bit longer than the sides. And the top is a little bit more important than the sides. And I don't use that. I mean, technically, if I was going to go by that, I would be doing the back very last because that's what you see the least of. But in this case, I want to be able to go into the back and rinse out the color on the ends if I need to. And I think that'll be easier than having it hanging in her face. So I did the back first and then second top. And then the last things I'll do are the 2 sides. And I'm just continuing to go through with that same technique. If the ends look light enough, then I'm just lightening the roots. But most of this top section does look pretty brassy. So I'm going to be doing a lot of the correction foils on this section. So I do the 20 volume on the roots, the regrowth. And then I grab a new foil and I hold it underneath the color stain and really lightly just feather. And you can move the foil down with you to keep the hair taut and then just bring it back up again. You don't want to have like a soaking amount in there. Like I said, it's just a little bit. Fold it up a couple times and then you can close it around your ends, your regrowth. And every once in a while, if I have some brown pieces, I can take them out too. I'll get to those later. I am leaving some of them in because she doesn't want to be all over blonde. She just want to have a teeny bit of different color in there just to give it some depth. All right, so I'm going to show you how to, I've just barely finished all of the foils, and I'm going to show you how to check and see if these ends are keeping their elasticity okay in them. So obviously it's not done. You can see that it's still pretty orange. But this is what you're going to do. You're going to get on the end and you're going to pull the hair. And if it stretches and breaks like bubble gummy, then it's going to break off and you need to rinse it off. It actually feels okay. There's not a lot of stretch in it. And that's an elasticity stress. So that's going to tell you a lot. It's an elasticity test. And that's going to tell you a lot about the integrity of the hair and if it's still okay. So we're doing all right. And the color's not all the way lifted out. If her hair were to have stretched really, really elasticy like a rubber band, I would have rinsed this out and gone through and started rinsing the other ones. But since it seems okay, and even if it was still dark, I would be rinsing it out. So it's fine. So I'm just going to leave it there and let it process for a few minutes. I'm going to stick her under the dryer for 15 minutes and then check it again. Okay, and so you'll also notice that there is still some darkness through her ends and stuff. It's okay. Like I said, you don't want to go through and do every single little piece because we want to worry more about the integrity of the hair more than if the color is going to be the exact right color this time. Sometimes when you're doing color corrections and you're going from a very dark color to light, you have to color it through 2 or 3 times in order to get the desired color and keep the hair intact. So keep that in mind. It's better to do it gradually than to just blow the cuticle off and fry the hair. And the next time she comes in, we can go through and paint a few more pieces on. But for now, this will be really bright and lighten it right up for her, so it'll be good. So. All right, so we're still going to need to tone her. This is just the second time that we've done from her really super dark hair to go lighter. So it still has a little bit of the stain in the end, but it is a little bit lighter than it was when she came in. But it does need a toner. You can see in here that it's a little bit bright and brassy. So we're going to do a toner, and it looks more like an orange tone. So we're going to do a blue down there on the end to tone that out, and I'll show you how to do that too. So shampoo the hair really well before you do the toner. Get all the lightener out. Make sure that you get underneath the neck really good. If there's any bleach left in the hair, then it will just eat away at the toner and it won't deposit into the hair, so it really won't do you any good. So you got to make sure you wash it really good. Good, 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 good. How many times did I say good? And I mixed it with a teeny bit of the crystal clear. So I did 1/2 ounce of the violet, the platinum ice, the 9V and the shade EQ, and then probably 1/4 ounce of the crystal clear, and then the same equal parts of the processing solution. And I just mix it up with my finger. And then I'm going to dip her ends in it first and wring them out really good. Make sure they're as wrung out as you can get them. And I'm going to start with her ends and dip it in there because she has so much color stain on her ends, and that's really where we want to work it out. If we put it right on the roots right now, then she would end up having, like, the roots would take faster than the ends, and so she might have a little bit too much violet come through on the ends, or on the roots. So she might end up with like purple roots, but not really purple, it's just like a platinum-y color. So don't be afraid of these toners. They really, really do wonders for the hair. It makes it really pretty. You can already see some of the brassiness like releasing out and getting toned over. And I just kind of watch it and work it in with my hands and wait for it to change. And this can take anywhere from 1 minute to like 5 minutes. You just have to kind of watch it. It's a demi-permanent, meaning that it only deposits color. So this is not lifting. It will not hurt the brown in there at all. It won't lift out any of the pigment. The processing solution is probably like a 5 on the developer. So it's really mild. And you can see that those orange colors are just releasing and the yellows are going out. It's not as brassy. And so now that it's starting to change on the ends and look good, I can bring it up to the roots on the rest of that and just work it back down. And I'm going to make those two sections just meet up. And this is where you really have to watch it good, because if this starts to look white, then you know you need to rinse it really quick. And then if it starts to even look purple, then you've gone a little too far and you better hurry up and rinse it. If for some chance it does go too purple and you're worried about it, if it's not too bad, you can send them home and it will fade in a few days. If it's noticeable and they feel like they have gray hair or it's too, if they're not happy, you can take a little solution of like 10 or 20 volume cream developer with a little bit of bleach powder mixed in it. Not enough bleach to really make it thick, just enough to make it kind of watery like a bleach solution. And you can pour that over the head right here and hurry and quick and rub it in, and it will release that purple tone really quick. It usually only takes like 10 seconds. And once you see it go, you can just hurry and rinse it out. It brightens it right back up. So don't be scared of using these toners. They help a ton, and it gives a really pretty creamy tone to the hair. So you can see right here, it's starting to turn a little bit white, and it's not looking yellow at all anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse it. The tone of the hair is a lot better now on the ends than when we first pulled those foils out. You can just see the difference already. So I'm just going to wash it again. So we washed it after we took the foils out and then toned it, and then now we're going to wash it just to get that color all the way out. I just realized that I didn't really explain very well to you what the crystal clear is. The crystal clear it's like the color for Shades EQ, but without any pigment in it. So the reason why I mixed it in with the toner is it's like the difference between a purple crayon a purple curtain and a sheer curtain. So the purple curtain doesn't really let a lot of light through and it's really dense, and the sheer purple curtain would be like see-through and really light. So this is lightening it up. So here's the color. It's already pretty sheer of a color, but if you put the crystal clear in there, it just makes it more or less pigmented and just kind of makes it like a lighter, clearer shade. So you can see through it a little bit more. So it helps with toning because you're not actually trying to make the hair look purple. You're just trying to like lay a purple see-through sheet over the yellow to try to like get the, I don't want to use the word like, so you're using it to try to get the tone neutral again instead of yellow. So that's what the crystal clear is for. It just dilutes the pigment in the color. See, so we just put bleach on her ends some places too, but guess what? Her hair's still healthy. It's not falling out. It's not stretchy bubblegum because we kept watching it and we made sure that it wasn't over processing. So yeah, it's never a good thing when your client's hair is like falling out when you're brushing it after you bleach it. So we don't like that to happen, and it didn't happen today. It's good. So now I'm just gonna trim her hair, and I'm not gonna do a video on that part. Sorry guys, it's a trim. I mean, I've done it on other videos, so I need to be quick and just do her trim on her, and then she'll be out the door and you can see the finished product. All right, I'm just finished trimming her hair, and I'm just going through really quick and doing some flat iron curls for some texture. Mainly just doing it on the ends, just do it really quick. All right, so this is the final result. really pretty blonde. There is still a little bit of a difference between the very, very roots and the ends, but it's so subtle and it melts really pretty that it looks great, and it's a lot better than the really dark level 3 brown that we were a couple times ago. And it's still, yeah, like I said, color corrections, you have to make it look good, and it's not always going to be absolutely perfect because sometimes it's really hard to get the color stain out of the ends of the hair, but this is a really good result for going from a level 3 up to this light of a blonde. So hopefully you're happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy with it too. And I hope you guys like this and it was helpful, and give me a thumbs up and make sure you comment below. Let me know what you guys want to see next, or if you have any questions about color correction. And also make sure you check out my Facebook page because we do a lot of fun things on there, special little things that you don't see on the channel. So yeah, thanks guys. See you next time.